Hi everyone, I am making this second video to go over these problems that I did not get a chance to in class, just in case you need extra practice. So where to find them, you go under Jamboard Notes and you find the 1.6, it's labeled as Complex Numbers Jamboard. It's the one that starts with the I stuff. Okay, so this would be under slides 9 and 10. So because I'm going to make these problems smaller, so you might not be able to see them. Okay, so I'm going to start with going over number 1, square root of 48. All right, so like I said, I'm going to make this small. Let me move it to the side, just so I have enough space to do the problems here. Okay, so number 1, square root of 48. So when it just says to simplify, you start with any two numbers that multiply, right? So I'm going to pick 12 times 4. And then I'm going to keep breaking down my numbers until I cannot break them down anymore. And then I see 6 is 3 times 2. And then all these other 2's are just going to come down. Circle your pairs. Now, by the way, since this is a video, obviously you can pause, rewind, stuff you wouldn't be able to do in the classroom. So if I'm going too fast at any point, you can do that. All right, so this 2 comes out, this 2 comes out, and when you bring them out, you're going to multiply. So you're going to have 4 radical 3. 3 stays inside because 3 doesn't have any pairs. And that would be your final answer. Okay, next problem, square root of 75. I don't remember what I did in class or what I didn't, so I'm going to just do this one in case I did. So what would I pick? I would pick 25 and 3. That's what numbers come to my mind, but I know others exist. And then I would do 5 times 5 here, bring this 3 down. These 5's are a pair. They're going to come outside, and that square root of 3 is going to stay inside. And that would be your final answer. All right, number 3 says radical negative 25. Now for something like this, I recognize 25. 25 is a perfect square. So the fact is it's negative. So be careful, it's not negative 5. Your answer would simply be 5i. I don't have to do all that breaking down stuff because I recognize that 25 is a perfect square. Okay? Number 4, I'm pretty sure I did in class, so I'm going to skip number 4. Oopsie. And I'm going to go into number 5 and do the rest on the slide for you. Okay. Number 5. B squared equals negative 34. So first thing you want to do in all of these problems is get the variable alone. Number 5, it's already alone, so I don't need to do anything. I don't need to move it. I just go right into square rooting. So now B equals, remember when you square root plus minus, it is negative, so I'm going to take an I out. Now 34 is going to stay inside. Make sure it's not like you can't simplify it. And we know we can't because 34, if you think about it, would be, let's see, 17 times 2. And 17 and 2 can't break down. They don't have a pair. So 34 is going to stay inside the square root. So that's why number 5, that would be your answer. Okay. Number 6 says m squared plus 7 equals 6. Here, I do have to get the m alone, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 7 to both sides. And so that would be m squared equals negative 1. I'm next going to square root. And so m is going to equal positive or negative. Again, all the answers should have that. And in this case, it's just going to be I. I can write 1i if I want, or just I, because the square root of 1 is 1, and 1's not going to change it. So I could just leave the answer like this. Okay, number 7. X squared minus 1 equals 80. I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and that's going to give me 81. Ooh, 81, I hope you recognize is a perfect square. So I don't need to do any breaking down. You should know that that's 9. However, we got to add a plus or minus. And no I in the answer because negative is not present. Okay? Next, number 8. I'm going to squeeze in here on the side. Number 8. 4x squared minus 6 equals 74. So first thing, add 6. Okay, next divide the 4. When I divide here, 80 divided by 4, that's going to give me 20. Square root both sides. Now 20 is not a perfect square, so for something like this you have to break it down. So if you do 4 times 5 and then break down the 4, you find your pairs, and so your final answer would be positive negative 2 square root of 5. Okay, and finally on this slide would be number 9. I'm going to erase the top portion here. Okay. 3m squared plus 7 equals 301. Okay, so same thing as we did in number 8. We want to get the variable alone. So we're going to start by subtracting that 7 to both sides. Okay, so we do 301 minus 7, and that would be 294, right? Then we would divide 3 to both sides, and that's going to give me 98. So m squared is equal to 98. Same as the previous problem, we have to do the breaking down. So in this case, I would do 49 times 2. That would be 7 and 7 and 2. So 7 radical 2. 7 comes out, 2 stays home. Okay, hope that helped with that slide. I'm going to move on to the last slide, which was slide 10. I know for a fact we did number 10 in class, so I'm going to skip number 10. But like I did in the previous slide, I'm going to just make this smaller. Okay. And I'm going to do number 11 on the side here. So for number 11, it says negative 5 plus 3i minus 4 minus 5i. So here I'm just going to subtract my like terms. So I have negative 5 minus 4. That's negative 9. And if you're not good with stuff like that, put it in the calculator. And then I'm going to have 3i minus negative 5i. So that's really like saying 3i plus 5i. So that's 8i. Okay. Number 12, I believe we did, and 13. So I'm going to skip to number 14. And this will be my last problem here. Okay. It does say to multiply, so we're going to multiply. Negative 10, start by distributing that to 5. That would be negative 50. Negative 10, distribute that to negative 2i. That would be positive 20i. Then 5i times 5 is 25i. And 5i times negative 2i, we got to be careful here, that would be negative 10i squared. Big thing about I squared, if you remember, that's equal to negative 1. So we'll take care of that in a second. So here, I'm going to combine my like terms. That would be 45i. And this would be negative 10 times negative 1. So if you think about that, negative 10 times negative 1, that's positive 10. And positive 10 is going to combine with negative 50. So your final answer here is going to be negative 40 plus 45i. Remember, the real number always goes first, and then the one with the I always goes last. All right, and that's all I got for you.